back to Gene Therapy, a whole new world. It's your girl, Hannah, and today we are diving deep. Gene therapy is a big deal in the bleeding disorder space, and we've talked a lot about the science, the safety, and the results. But today we are focusing on something different, the decision to say yes to gene therapy. What does it really take to say yes? What makes someone feel like it's the right time or even the right fit? Well, the answer, it's deeply personal and rarely simple. To help us unpack this, we're joined by two people who bring powerful and complementary perspectives. Chip lives with it. Simon supports those considering it. And together, they help us explore both sides of this decision. Before we dive deep with Simon and Chip, here's a quick word from our sponsor. It's a whole new world gene therapy segment brought to you by CSLBehring and their hemophilia B gene therapy treatment. To learn more about gene therapy, hear patient stories, and view additional support resources, visit beyondhemb.com or download B Support wherever you get your apps for more information and to manage your treatment journey. Meet Chip. He lives with hemophilia B and didn't wait for change. He moved toward it. His story is one of determination, of being front-footed in the quest for better treatment. Alongside him, we have Simon, a research nurse and PhD candidate from Oxford, who has guided many through the long, thoughtful process of deciding if gene therapy makes sense for them. We know gene therapy doesn't guarantee perfection. And for people like Chip, that's not the goal. It's about the progress, possibility, and a better day-to-day life.
To me, this was the next step. To me, this was a culmination of decades of research of my healthcare journey. I didn't have high expectations. I didn't have low. So what I've gotten has just been great. So that's something that it's got to be discussed, or outcomes. But if I'd had a lesser value, it's still been a great outcome.
Not every outcome will look the same, but when the results make life a little bit easier, a lot more free, that's a win worth celebrating. Simon has guided many people through this journey, and for him, the first question is always about the goals.
Whenever I've spoken to people about gene therapy prior to them having gene therapy, it's always been a conversation about what do you want to do? What do you want from the gene therapy? What do you want to gain? What do you want to do? When do you want to do it? You know, it's a case of looking, what do you want to achieve with your life?
It's a conversation that goes beyond treatment goals. It's about identity, values, and hopes. At the heart of it is one question: what do you want? And that answer depends on where you are in your own journey. For people like Chip, saying yes to gene therapy came after following years of science, volunteering, and staying ready to say yes.
I heard about gene therapy actually 25 years ago. One of the very early researchers actually sent me a letter and asked me to be a part of her research. And because of other circumstances, that did not happen. 10 years ago, in earnest, my hematologist at Vanderbilt called me and said, "You want to be in gene therapy?"
Chip's story has a happy ending, but getting there meant accepting it might not work out. Still, for many like Chip, the hope and the chance are worth it, even with all of the unknowns still today.
There was a couple of experiences that I had that made me wish for gene therapy just right then. Sure, there were what ifs, but it was short-lived. Because I've been involved so long and read so much about gene therapy, even though I was a 25th patient in the phase 3, of course, they'd done 13 earlier in that. Great results. And so maybe there might have been some anxiety, but nothing that was, oh, okay.
That readiness, it looks different for everyone. Some folks can't wait to try it.
One thing about gene therapy, it is really so interesting as a medical technology and medical application. I mean, it's just great. It's fantastic. I think it's going to change many people's lives for the better. When you start at 1.7% and are severe, would I've loved to have been just a mild hemophiliac all my life? Absolutely. I think the base that you start at, of course, makes a difference in your lifestyle and how hemophilia affects you. I was severe. I paid for it.
That's the thing about gene therapy. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's a personal decision, but for many, it's also a very liberating one.
Some people have needle phobias. Now, I don't, but every once in a while you miss a vein and you're going to miss it again, and you know it. Because I have not had to have factor since then on a regular basis or any factor, I have over 280 times now had not had to give myself anything. So that's 280 times that back of this hand right here hasn't been poked.
And maybe even more powerful, that freedom to finally talk about it.
In the past, I did not share my story of hemophilia because of possible discrimination, people not understanding about my condition. I always wanted to carry my load. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. But now I want everybody to know what a good outcome I've had and what other young men or older men also what good outcomes that they can have.
Chip's story is powerful, but it's not about perfection. It's about finding the treatment that fits. Gene therapy may not be the answer for everyone, but for some, it's an answer that changes everything.
It's not the answer, but it's an answer. It's a treatment in a group of treatments. And I think everybody needs to look at all of those treatments in the round and say, what is the treatment that is going to make the biggest difference to my life at this point in time and maybe going into the future?
For Chip, it worked, and the impact still unfolding today.
It could not have turned out any better for me. I've had great numbers. I'm in the normal range. I was normal a week after therapy, and had no side effects. I have. They're still following me, and could not have been any better.
For many, gene therapy still feels like uncharted territory. The science can seem overwhelming, but the more we talk about it, the clearer it becomes.
The more people hear about gene therapy and hear about the whole process, then it will remove some of the mystique about gene therapy. And I think there probably is a mystique about it. It's very complex, it's very complicated science. But we also need to hear those stories of people who've had gene therapy, who had a good result from it, but maybe the whole process wasn't quite what they thought it might be. So they can tell their story of what that process was, so that people can then turn around and say, okay, well, I know more about the process now, so that if that happens to me, then I'm not surprised by it.
Gene therapy is more than reducing bleeds or raising factor levels. It's about reclaiming your time, your freedom, and your future.
Success is what the person says it is, where the person says it is, when the person says it is. So we can define success however we want. The people that are having the treatment will define it for us, or should define it for us. And I really think that actually, if we want to know what success is, we need to listen to the people that are having the treatment, so that we know what they consider success to be.
But what does that future really look like? A year out, 5 years, 10 years? In our next episode, we're exploring longevity. Not just how long gene therapy can last, but what lasting change truly means for the bleeding disorders community. Because when your treatment shifts, so does everything else. Your goals, your mindset, and your day-to-day life. So stay with us as the journey is just getting started, and trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. It's your girl Hanna, and we are signing off with today's Gene Therapy, a Whole New World.